I was going to get dressed for this video, but this is more important than superficial appearances, so Black Lives Matter, and if you can't say that, you're racist. If you are black, or especially if you're a black teenager going through all of this right now, I feel your pain. I know it's hard. This started happening a while ago, and I couldn't even bring myself to film a video about it until now. So I wanted to talk about the movement and about some of the hashtags like all cops are bastards, which I agree with. I believe in it in my whole heart, and I think I want to talk to you guys today about why. I do have some notes on my phone because this was important and I need to get these things out. And if you are a person of color and people in your life are really trying to defend the police to you right now, it's because it's a system that's disproportionately helped them their entire lives. And those biases take a long time to break down, but some people just aren't willing to try. But for those of you who can't conceptualize the police being the ones who are in the wrong here, think about the videos you may have seen of people being arrested, even those who have resisted, which happens. It happens. People resist arrest. But if 3 friends went to a bar and one of them got ridiculously hammered to the point they started a bar fight, those 2 friends could still carry that person away. They could still get them into an Uber. So trained police officers, when it's 4 to 1, definitely are able to cuff someone and put them in the back of their car. They don't need to repeatedly hurt them just because their legs are still moving. They don't need to shoot them because someone's running away. That's not self-defense. If anyone other than a cop shot someone who wasn't facing them, they would go to jail for murder, because that's not self-defense. That's not an arrest. That is years of bias telling that person that it's okay to treat someone who is a person of color like their life is worth less, like ending it doesn't matter. So yes, I believe in all cops are bastards because the whole system supports them. No one gets arrested for things like that until it's brought to social media and people sign petitions. The whole system was built on racism. Every system in America was built on the backs of people of color, built on white people believing that they were better than. So it shouldn't be hard for you to understand why the system is racist, how the system is racist, how it supports people who are white, and why that gives them privilege. Even at the age of 17, I have experienced racism in my life, which to some of you will not be surprising at all because at younger ages you've experienced it. But for me, I always viewed myself as equal, and I think I was lucky because there's so many black teenagers who don't, because they're not taught that way. Even in schools, black teenagers are persecuted heavier for things that everyone does as a teenager. If you break dress code, you might get in-school suspension instead of a warning. If you get in a fight with a teacher, you could get expelled. They don't treat us the same way. And then our parents have to teach us to be more mature to avoid heavier punishment, and that only makes things worse because they view us differently. Studies have been done that show that adults don't think that little girls of color need as much care as little white girls because they think that we can handle ourselves. We're still kids. We still do things that are irresponsible because we haven't learned just as much as anyone else. I've always been one of the smartest people in my class, and it's always been one of the first things that people have noticed about me, and I always thought it was the best compliment until I started to realize the hint of surprise in everyone's voice when they thought, oh, she's so smart, she's so articulate. And it's not just because I'm a high school student, it's because I'm a young black girl. They don't expect it from you. They don't expect someone with this kind of hair to be able to communicate the way that I do. They expect you to be loud. They expect you to do things so that they can label you the way that they want to. So we need to work together. This country that my people built for you needs to work together so that we are treated fairly, so that everyone is treated fairly. People preach all lives matter, but then when it comes to LGBT people, when it comes to people of color, they treat us like lesser than. So Black Lives Matter. and you need to be able to say it. So if the color of your skin has ever given you a privilege, acknowledge it and be ready to move forward and help. If you need a break because your skin has caused you hardship your whole life and you feel flabbergasted that people are now surprised at the way that we're being treated, take a break. It is difficult, it is hard, but we still need to fight for ourselves, for our people. And we can't do that if we're all exhausted. I know I've had my times of being exhausted. I've had my times of, how can anyone think this is okay? How could anyone watch these videos and still try and defend someone who was so clearly in the wrong? How could you tell me that this abuse is something normal? How could you tell me that living in a country policed by someone who doesn't care about anyone who looks like me is okay and should continue? I stand by a statement that I made almost 4 years ago now. Trump is a disgusting person. No one should vote for him. And I know that people have their reasons, because I've talked to them. I've talked to people my age who think that Trump helping our economy is more important than his flamboyant forms of racism. Really think about what it means to make America great again. The country that used to have slaves, the country that still has Jim Crow laws, the country that doesn't really accept the immigrants that they so brightly advertised a better life for. Is that the country that you want to promote? Is that the country that you want to keep? It shouldn't be. So to everyone who has a voice, because that really is everyone, I want to say, keep learning, keep educating yourself, but never ever forget, if you are someone who has ever had privilege because of the color of your skin, you can't stop fighting for this, because it is about you. It is your problem. It was caused by your people. You will never have to question if people talk about you behind your back just because of the color of your skin. You'll never have to question if you got hired for diversity. You'll never have to question those things. And you'll never have to work 3 times as hard to get to a place below someone else. Know that people who are minorities have it hard. And feel bad about it for a while. And then get ready to make a change.
Like him, this American boy. My guy pretty like a hero. Then he got vice stories to tell. See both sides like you know. See on both sides like you know.